I'm Devin. So we'll get started. I'm the chief evangelist with Airtight. I've worked for a bunch of companies, and we'll move along. And so I've been in Wi-Fi since it was invented, I think. So if you don't know me, I owe you a hug. And so this is kind of the State of the Union address in 10 minutes. If I can do that. So Wi-Fi is a commodity. It's a fast pipe. It's not the Wi-Fi that matters anymore. It's what flows over it. That's what brings value. If a company's out there going, yeah, but we got the best Wi-Fi, and they're not bringing anything else, they are not bringing value. I think it's the services that bring the differentiation. That's where the real value is being provided. And most of the enterprise class vendors today are doing exactly that. They're moving toward more of a software model, services model, cloud model, things like this, because that's where profit's at, to be quite honest. But it's also where they can provide more of the value to the customer base. Value is delivered through the system-wide intelligence, and that can be provided through several different pieces and parts. APs, management, cloud services that are being provided, and services, there's lots of those, and we'll talk about those in just a second. So the good connectivity is still important. I'm not saying it's not. It's always, important. That's weird to hear myself behind myself. Don't want to stand in front of that. I'm like, wait, who is that? And so, it's still important to have good connectivity. That's a given. But I'll be honest with you, if you can't provide good connectivity these days, you suck. We've had a decade, more than a decade to get that right. And I think most vendors, can provide good connectivity, some better than others, but the margin of difference is very small. And so I think that layer 7 is the new layer 2 these days. It's these services that bring real value. And of course, moving up to the application layer, obviously. And here's some of those services, the social, mobile, analytics, cloud. And then you move on up into things like security, and there's a lot of pieces and parts to security, then compliance and reporting and BYOD and on and on, locationing and the managed service provider enablement and on and on. So let's talk about that a little bit. So, if I have the goal of getting to work each day, that's my goal, and it's about reliability and about just getting there. Do I want an awesome tire that's rated at 200 miles an hour, or maybe that's 300 kilometers per hour if you guys are from Europe? And so I always have to translate all that stuff, And so I've got this really fast rated tire, and it can do that in the rain. And you go, well, it's a nice tire. It's a fantastic tire. In fact, if you gave me a whole set of 4 of these, that would be fantastic, but it wouldn't get me to work now, would it? But if you gave me a nice Toyota Corolla, it's a whole solution. It's steering wheel and seats and tires and brakes and the whole thing. It's the whole thing that gets me from point A to point B. It's a solution, right? That's more important. So most of your enterprise APs are extreme overkill, ridiculous overkill. Look at your branch offices these days. Branch office, it has 50 users in it that's serviced by a single AP, might have 10 megs of throughput, and it might have a 10 or 15 meg backhaul. And so, this is not much throughput. This is, averaged over the course of an 8-hour business day or 10-hour business day. You're looking at 10 megs of throughput. And yet, today's 802.11n access points can do what? 300, 350 megs, 400 megs of throughput? That's 35 or 40 times as much as you need. And then, of course, you're hearing, oh, we got 11AC. Who doesn't have 11AC, right? But that, our AP can do 700, 900 megs of throughput. Okay, great. Well, that's 70 times or 90 times as much as you need. And so extreme overkill, that's a super fast tire. It's layer 2, but services or the things that are coming on top of that is where the industry is going. So, you hear, our APs are faster, but the reality says we don't need faster all the time. There are corner cases, there's the stadiums, and there's the cafeterias and the halls where at universities and things like this where you get super high density. We see this, but these are corner cases. It's less than 1% of all of your your deployments are in this scenario. And so, you're looking at branch offices, you're looking at corporate offices. You find me an AP that sustains more than 10 megs over an 8-hour period. Find me one and tell me about it. And that's the issue. So more speed, we don't need that. Well, what do we need? That's the question. What do we need? So find me the problem set and then solve that. So, there's not really that much bottleneck these days. I've had people tell me about their network, say we've got 200 access points and we've got 5 megs of throughput across all of them together. Oh my God. So, speeds and feeds matter when? Not so much. High density is a very small set of use cases. So if you're going to have a race, Lamborghini against a BMW. Now, a BMW is fast, of course. You can take your slowest, crappiest 11AC, just total junk 11AC, and it's fast. And then you can take your super fast, awesome, badass 11AC, and it's really fast. And you race them in rush hour traffic, right? And who's faster? Nobody. Where's the bottleneck here? If the bottleneck is at the client side, single spatial streams, it's all cluttered up with, iPhones and things like this. The bottleneck's not at the AP. If you throw, and we saw, if you guys were in the high density thing earlier with Chuck, you saw that, you throw 50 clients on there and what do you get? You get about 50 megs of throughput aggregate. That's just life. It's the way things are. You don't get 900 megs of throughput. That's not reality. So the 3 most neglected tasks in networking, in Wi-Fi networking: design, and you guessed it, design. You're welcome, Keith. That was for Keith, and it's true. So better design would increase the capacity of most networks. Continuing to throw more and more speed at an access point or anything is not going to help you that much, especially right now when the clients are still all 11 in. But I'll tell you what will help you. Design your networks better and you'll get lots of extra capacity out of them. In fact, we heard Chuck say that this morning, that if you look at the internet backhaul and you're only getting 50 megs out of that thing, that's how you know that your RF is not designed so well. So let's talk about verticals. You look at your problem set, and it's different for every vertical market. I think my retail got small there. So you've got a list of things for retail, and you've got a list of things for education or finance and banking, and there's a dozen verticals, right? You guys know about the vertical markets. And so they've all got their own list. So you've got to have a solution for those verticals. Just selling Wi-Fi, just having a solution that says, yeah, we can connect your clients, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You need to have a solution for the entire list of things. Not that these are necessarily comprehensive, but you get the point. You've got to have a set of features or software or services or whatever it takes in order to bring a whole solution to that market. Now, some vendors can actually bring the whole solution to several markets and some cannot. Some can only service one market and some try to sell no solution, but they sell it horizontally. They say, we can connect your clients. Well, good for you. So each market has its own unique set of problems, and a one-size-fits-all, just get you connected is not good enough anymore. So, cloud services is now de facto. I mean, most vendors these days have some, not all, but most have some type of cloud option. Whether you put your controller in the cloud, or you put your management in the cloud, or you put something in the cloud, and even if you just have to call it cloud, you got something. And so cloud is, at least the option of cloud is now become de facto. And what can you do with cloud? Centralized management of distributed locations, infinite scaling, and so on and so forth. It's very important. High reliability. There's a lot of advantages here for cloud, as you well know if you've been in Wi-Fi very long. And the next step I think that we've been seeing is, a lot of times in the industry, we see these videos where vendors are saying, we can get this AP up and running in just 6 minutes. And the next vendor's like, and we can do it in just 5 minutes. And you're thinking, it's like, name that tune. And so I think the next big step is about pre-configuration. It's about doing it ahead of time, being able to template, plug it in, and it's just go. You don't have to configure anything. And when you configure and you do it in 5 minutes, what do you really get? You get an SSID with PSK security, right? That's all you're really getting. But what if you could just plug it in and you don't have to do anything? The manufacturer does all that for you. They act as a managed service provider. And all vendors should be able to do this. I mean, we're moving toward that as an industry. And so these are some of the things, 0 time to value, not 5 minutes to a little value. It's 0 time to a huge amount of value, and bringing services and bringing it to multiple size markets, and it eliminates a bunch of security problems, and it allows you to bring best practices, just plug and play. I think all of those things are very important. So that's it. How's that?